What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? It's Sunday. It's We Talking About Sports. We're back with another Sunday session. It's Roland here, and I'm joined by Justin and Ron. How are you guys doing this weekend?
Scared. You made these slides
Yeah.
too scary, Pat.
Spooky season. I had to. Into the festivities. I haven't chosen what I'm going to wear tomorrow to work for Halloween, but I'm going to get something for sure. I like Halloween. Do you guys celebrate Halloween? Have you guys been into dressing up and all that stuff?
I'm gonna go as a mailman tomorrow for work. It's gonna be my costume. I mean, we had a Halloween party last weekend. I went as a Peaky Blinder. It was pretty
You didn't
lit.
dress up as an astronaut?
No, I wasn't. My wife was an astronaut and my sister. But I'm excited to be back, man. I've missed the last two shows because of parties like that. But I behaved this weekend because the guys, said, "Hey, man, two's all right, but don't make it three in a row." So here I am, and I'm ready to get into this Sunday session, boys.
We would have started getting into some suspension talks or some renegotiations, but three's a strike. What about you? What about you, Justin? You watched some Astros yesterday? Watched some of that Anderson Silva and Jake Paul?
Ooh.
You know, Roland, yesterday it started at 11 a.m., watching
College.
Ohio State, college football, all the way to the end was like, 11 o'clock, watching the two fights, Lomachenko and Jake Paul. It was a nonstop slate of football and sports for me yesterday. It was great. Astros win. I'm happy we bounced back. Let's hope we can take something to Philly and win over there.
Is that why you looks like you have a little headache, Pat?
Oh, that might have contributed to it. Yeah.
Slight. What about you? I know you said you're gonna pick an outfit or something for work, but do you get into the Halloween season? Do you decorate your
I
crib
used
and
to I
stuff?
used to decorate a little bit. Didn't decorate this year, but I did definitely like to pick out at least one costume to wear.
All
Just,
right.
like one year, like I picked like a minion head and I wore that into work
Yeah, I
just on
fuck with
top
the
of my
minions, man.
on
You
my
wore the
work
minion head
attire.
at work, like while you're working,
Yeah, well, not
talking
while
to
I
a
was
customer,
working,
spanking with
talking to
them,
my
like
manager, but
minion head
no,
on.
just for the back office purposes,
Yeah.
not in front of the customer. But Astros definitely big W yesterday. That was huge.
Ooh.
Even up the series at 1-1. The Anderson Silva Jake Paul fight, Justin, do you give any, I guess, credence to the victory for Jake Paul? Is this a legit victory?
Yeah, it was a legit victory, but let's keep in mind Anderson Silva is very much past his prime. He's 47 years old. Jake Paul will continue to cherry pick these opponents that he can win, that have enough hype, and that's a good winning formula for his bank account. I mean, you saw how packed out that stadium was yesterday. It was filled to the brim. There's some drama heading in. He's saying that he wants Masvidal or Nate Diaz next. Only one is available, which would be Nate Diaz. I don't really see him fighting Nate Diaz. I think he's going to find another opponent that is recently retired from MMA, a Uriah Hall maybe, or something along those lines, and fight that.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good fight, and like you said, he's 47 years old, so he's gonna keep on cherry picking him. I like the Nate Diaz call out though. I think that'd be an entertaining fight and a good build
Oh,
up
it'll do numbers.
for
That would do
sure.
numbers.
What about you, Ron? Are you
I,
buying this?
I saw it. I mean, I literally saw it. I sat down and saw every single second of every single round, and it's just he was pulling punches to me. Like Silva was pulling punches. Like he'd throw like a big hook, or kind of like wind up, and you're like, oh, he's gonna fucking hit him hard. And then at the last minute, I just kind of felt like he just kind of stopped a little bit. I mean, he was giving him some nice, uppercuts. He was jabbing him. He was moving his head. Silva was boxing with the dude, or maybe it was just his age. When Jake Paul, was throwing the hooks, you could see the power behind it. Obviously, he's a younger guy. He's gonna have more power. But Silva it didn't look like he was coming through all the way. So it was like low key staged because at the end they teamed up and they're going for insurance on the fighters and to get them a better like health plan and stuff like that. So I think that was more of the root of it. Is Silva said, "I'll fight you, but you got to help me do this for the fighters and all that." So that could have been something else about it. But regardless of it, I mean, it was cool to see Silva back in the ring. He's the greatest fighter of all time. But to see him take an L to a guy like Jake Paul is just, it kind of hurts my pride. If he fights Nate Diaz, I was watching Nate Diaz's fight versus Tony Ferguson, and Diaz can box, but he's just way smaller. He doesn't have the power that Jake Paul does. But regardless of it, it was cool to see. Just sad that Silva got the L.
Yeah, I know some people who will be personally hurt if Nate Diaz loses to Jake Paul. So we'll see. Hopefully that fight does come to fruition because I think the buildup would be good in that one. Without further ado, though, it was a good college football Saturday. Justin, you and Ron did your college football preview during the week. I tuned in for some of that, and you guys were spot on a lot of the games you guys talked about. So got to give you guys kudos. Hopefully we're on
Justin.
the mark here as we talk through some Sunday football. So let's get to it. It's the spooky season. It's our Sunday session.
Yee.
Let's get to it. As always, Sundays, 10 a.m. You can always find us here on Facebook Live. We did have some Thursday night football action. We talked about it on the Look Ahead podcast. The Ravens versus the Bucks. Ravens, I think they closed as 2.5-point dogs. This closed as the Bucks as favorites, over under 46.5. Ravens ended up pulling away 27-22. And we did have some plays. Ron, do you want to talk about your play here? The
Yeah,
over
man. I'll
45
start.
cashing?
Over 45, I was a little worried. It was 10-3 going into halftime. The second half exploded, with offense. The Bucks were down at the red zone. They went for it on fourth down. If they kicked the field goal, I would have hit. They didn't make it. However, Baltimore went down the field right away and scored. And then, even the Bucks came back and scored. So I think it didn't fly over. What was it, 27-22? So it went to 49. But good cash, man. I liked it. Over 45 hit. Started off the night good.
Yeah, and Justin, you were on Mike Evans over 4.5 receptions. You weren't worried about his dealings with the referees after the Panthers game. You went ahead and banged that over 4.5.
Yeah.
What did you like pregame going into this?
Well, you're just looking at his targets. His target rate every game has been significantly higher than 4.5. It's like somewhere in the 7-8 range. Again, this game he was targeted 7 times, came away with I think 6 catches in the end. So
Yeah, he
pretty easy
definitely.
cash.
Yeah, he cashed easily. Ben was on Gus Edwards over 46.5 rushing yards. Got there in the second half as well with that offense that Ron was talking about. Me, unfortunately, had the only loser with Mark Andrews over 55.5. I will say
Not
he had
your
like
fault.
30. He had like
Asterisk.
33. He had like 33,
33, yeah.
receiving yards in the first quarter or like in the early second, and then he went out for the rest of the game. So bad break, but he was questionable going into the game. I just thought he was going to be healthy enough to get through it, and he's Lamar Jackson's favorite target. So unfortunate bad break there, but
Bad break.
nonetheless, Pod was 3-1 on Thursday, so we'll take it. Some
Oh,
good
yeah.
momentum heading into Sunday as we talk some plays and some fantasy football. Biggest takeaway though from Thursday night football, we see Tom Brady here. He's looking in despair. Do you think he's going to be able to turn it around, or is this finally it? The Bucks aren't going to turn it around. If they do, it'll be like maybe a wild card and an early exit. Or do you think they still have enough to get this division?
I mean, I see it as the firepower is there. It's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. If anybody can get it done, it's him. And you really don't see why they're not producing, man. The talent is all there. They did well against the Ravens. I mean, they only lost by 5. Some people say it was, a little bit closer. But I think they still have an opportunity. That situation that you pointed out, Roland, is perfect. I think they can slide in late in a wild card. And then when it's the playoffs, you just never know. It's not early in the season, but it's not too late either. We're kind of midway. They're going to get their bye pretty soon, have a chance to, recuperate, get everybody together. And with the personnel that they have, older guys, OGs, guys who have been there before, I think they can come together and they can make a late push. So to me, the opportunity is there. The window is still open for the Bucks.
Okay, so Ron, you're not hitting the panic button yet.
No,
You
sir.
still think
No,
they got
sir.
the GOAT. He's going to steer them clear of any troubled waters or through any troubled waters. Justin, do you agree here with Mr. Eddie Martinez saying that Tom Brady's done, or do you think he's got a chance to turn the ship around?
No, let's be real. Eddie Martinez is super biased against Brady. I mean, he will say anything to wrong Brady. No,
Easily.
Tom Brady's not done here. The Bucks are not done. Fortunately for them, they play in the NFC South. 3 losses in a row, and guess what? They're in second place. 3
Mark
losses
just
in a
called
row.
that. Yeah.
You're not going to do that in any other division. Fortunately for them, they are NFC South. They have to beat out Atlanta. Looks like Carolina's going to move away from Baker. They're going to move on to that AFL quarterback or wherever he comes from. And the Saints, they're banged up as well. I think at the end of the day, you slide into that wild card, like Ron said, and Brady will flip that NFC switch, that playoff switch. Playoff Brady gets activated, LeBron mode, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
And the Bucks, they make some noise. There is a reason why they were favored so highly preseason to win the whole thing, and I think we're going to see some of that come playoff time, come January and February.
Okay, so we talking about sports is not worried about Tom Brady.
We ain't worried about none.
There's been some bad breaks. Like you said, they've had some tough losses so far, but they still do play in the NFC South, so they're going to be able to get right. Personally, I'm still not worried about the Falcons and Marcus Mariota. I'm still not worried about Andy Dalton and the Saints. And, Edgar, I do agree. We have to put some respect on PJ Walker, the guy. I mean, he came from the XFL. He's a baller, but I mean, usually when he plays, it's not good. So if the Bucks get another chance at him, I like my chances there. Although probably Darnold or Baker will likely be back by that time. But yeah, biggest takeaway for me Thursday Night Football is it's not going to be so easy for the Bucks. This is going to be the hardest test that Tom Brady's ever had to make something happen, because it doesn't look right so far, and we're at the halfway point already. So it has to happen now. And I mean, they just made the divorce official, him and Giselle. So there's a lot of trouble brewing.
Yeah, AB's already sliding in the DMs. Hey, shout out to Mark real quick, bro, because he did win our NFL Pick'em contest week 6, and we haven't shouted him out yet officially, but that slide is coming. Congratulations, Mark, on winning. You took it down. You beat everybody. We'll put up your results and show how you kicked everybody's ass, man. So thanks, Mark, for being on and winning the contest.
Stuff, Mark. Roland, you're on mute.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even realize I muted myself. I was just saying shout out Mark, and
thank you.
I'm curious to see what his record was from that Sunday.
I think he
only got like 3 wrong. I think he was on point.
Okay.
12, I think it was like 12. Yeah, 12 or 13.
Hard to beat that. Beat that. Well, shout out Mark, and on to week 8. This is technically, I guess, would you guys call this a halfway point? Almost a halfway point in the year, maybe to week 9.
Yeah.
You're getting closer to that trade deadline. We're almost there. We're at that halfway area.
Here's our slate. This is when stuff starts getting real, when stuff starts getting spooky, if you will. If you're not able to turn it around at this point, guys start looking at their jobs and thinking they might not be back next year. Other people are looking towards the playoffs if they are able to turn things around. But we do have the slate pictured up here. The only game not pictured is the game that's going on right now. That's the Broncos and Jaguars over in London. Broncos are up 14-10 going to the end of the third quarter based on what I'm seeing here on my app. But like I said, here's the slate. Any games that pop out to you guys before we get into the meats and bones of the podcast?
Nothing really exciting, man. Nothing really exciting for me. No big, rivalry going on. Maybe San Francisco and LA could be a look, but with no Debo, you're already like, that game's not going to be 100% on both squads. I'm interested to see if the Giants come out and continue their winning ways. It's going to be a big test going into the 12th man in Seattle. DK is going to play, I believe. You guys just shouted out Walker, the running back. So I think this is a true test for the Giants, and it's big to me because of the NFC standings. We need the Giants to get this L because as Cowboy fans, we know Philadelphia's undefeated. The Giants are having a crazy season that we did not expect. And our record, we should feel like we should clearly be in control of at least the number 2 seed, and we're still fighting for that. We have Detroit. Not Detroit today. We have the Bears. So that's looking like it should be a win for us at home. So I need the Giants to take this L. However, on our look ahead show, I did say that I was on them for the spread. But other than that, not really crazy games with big story, big storylines. I think the Thursday night game was probably the biggest storyline there. And the Monday night game is going to be really good too.
What about you, Justin? Anything catching your eye?
Well, for the first slate, of course, it's going to be the Cowboys. Like Ron said, we're fighting for that second place spot. It looks like, Philly has a pretty easy schedule for this year. They could easily go like 14-3 or something like that. And for the 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock Central slate, I'm looking forward to the Tennessee-Houston game. Malik
Nice.
Willis is coming in today. I want to see what he does to replace Tannehill. Can he win the job in one game? I probably don't think so. But if Tannehill's more banged up than they're letting on, we might have to see the Malik Willis show from now on. And, that's another rookie quarterback that's going to get a start. I want to see what he does.
That's a good call out, Justin. That's kind of where my eyes were going to. I want to see Malik Willis in his, I guess, debut, if you will, as a starter. Tannehill is a tough guy, so if he's out, it's got to be something kind of serious because he's a guy that'll play through almost anything. So very interested to see if the Texans here too in a must-win spot at home, if they can take advantage of this opportunity, or if it's just living on easy street when you play against the Texans this year. Other game that I'm interested in seeing, maybe not so, I guess so.
You're on mute, Roland.
I think I'm having some trouble with my mic, but I was saying it's the other New York team here. It's the Jets versus the Patriots. I want to see the Jets for real. This is a divisional game. Jets are at home. The Patriots announced that Mac Jones is their starter despite benching him after 3 drives. Bailey Zappi went in, and he probably, keeping it real, 100% real, Bailey Zappi benefited from beautiful field position the first 2 possessions that he touched the ball. And I mean, Mac Jones has been able to lead them down to score on those.
Oh, man.
But I like the
those were dimes he threw. Those were dimes he threw, though.
To Jacoby Myers? Jacoby had to make a 360 catch. That wasn't a dime. I would have given him a better pass.
He put it in a spot where he could get it as a 50-50 ball enough to get it.
That was not supposed to be a 50-50 ball, but Jacoby Myers was running
Mac
wide open.
Ain't making that throw, though.
He made that way
harder.
The
moxie that he has, I'm on the Bailey Zappi train. I'm sorry, I am.
I'm not. He made that catch way harder than it had to be. If that were like a normal quarterback.
Yeah, there was one where he had to do like a. I know what you're talking about, though, where he landed short of the goal line. He had to roll in, kind of.
Yeah, and he had to roll in.
Yeah, that one was tough. But the other one on the sideline is the one that I was talking about. That was nice.
But then after that, it kind of all went downhill.
It all went downhill.
I'm interested to see how Mac Jones can respond. It's on the road, doesn't have to worry about Patriots fans like Justin over here calling for Zappi to come in the game like they were doing against New England. So very interested to see how the Pats bounce back. But like Ron said, kind of a weird slate today. A couple spots where there should be some points, and I know Ron likes taking those over-unders, so we'll be talking about some of that later on.
And to touch on that Jets game real quick, no Breece Hall, no
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis is out as well. So this is going to be a true and I think one of their offensive tackles is out too.
Dwayne Brown is questionable today. Yeah.
So it's going to be huge for Zach Wilson, man. He's going to be running for his life. So it could be an ugly game. This might be a game where you might want to take the unders here.
So nobody's looking forward to the Battle of Pennsylvania, right? Like no one cares about the Eagles and Steelers because we hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are pretty bad. Kenny Pickett's,
Eagles 11-point favorites. Kenny Picks not too positive for the Steelers right now.
I'm just that's a big fantasy game for me. That's the only thing I like about that. It's a huge fantasy game.
All right.
And we'll talk about that game later too, because like Ron said, there's some fantasy implications. All right, well, let's get into it. As always, we started off with the weather. A couple of spots here with some rain in that New York and Seattle game. Big game as the guys talked about, especially for Cowboys fans here. And the Seahawks, they're the leaders of the NFC West right now, if you guys can believe it, through 7-8 weeks in the season. And other than that, really not too many other spots to talk about. A lot of games being played inside today, so that's always good for fantasy. Moving on to one of the more important slides here, the injury report.
Very important.
Just starting with the guy pictured, Zeke Elliott, more than likely out today. This is going to be a Tony Pollard spot. We'll talk about him more later, but Zeke is out. Tony Pollard in for a full workload as a running back 1 with nobody really to worry about. Other big names here. I do want to apologize. Devontae Adams is in. That was a typo on my part. Darren Waller is actually not going to play too. So 2 mistakes up there.
Oh, he's not?
Just want to point that out. Yeah, Darren Waller. I think I just got an update here.
Okay.
Just want to read this real quick. Will be inactive today. Yeah, he was going to give it a go. Went through pregame warmups, I guess, and just not going to be able to make it. Other
Waller's
guys here,
out, guys. Waller's out. Everybody who has Waller,
Yeah.
Roland just dropped the news. He's out. Waller is inactive.
Waller is out. Adams is in. He was able to overcome whatever he was feeling throughout the week. Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas also out. Other big name here, Deebo Samuel out for the 49ers. Justin, does this ring a bell for you? Are you worried about Deebo being out, or do you think the 49ers are versatile enough now that they added Christian McCaffrey and they still got Kittle and Ayuk? Or is this a big loss for the 49ers? What are you thinking here?
No, it's a big loss. We saw that, was it the Monday night game where Debo got absolutely loose against that Rams defense. So you need a playmaker like Debo to beat the Rams. I do like that they picked up McCaffrey, of course. Did he learn the offense enough to be effective today? We're about to find out.
What about you, Ron? Any other injuries up here that stand out to
you? Not really, man. I mean, these are injuries that a lot of them have kind of, weighed over there, a couple, from several weeks. There's nothing like, oh, somebody's coming back from being out 4 or 5 weeks. These are lingering injuries. You see guys on here like Baker Mayfield, who's been out. Tanny's, the new one, but not a lot of big names besides Debo and Zeke, just for the Tony Pollard implications. And that's Tyler Lockett's playing. Jarvis Landry has already been out, so
Metcalf gonna give it a go. Metcalf gonna give it a go also, which is crazy because he got carted off the field last week. But that guy's he's one of those guys that's just built different. So his recovery time frame is probably not like yours and mine. Just do want to point out James Conner. He is out another week. So Eno Benjamin getting another run at the starting running back spot. And I do want to point out 2 defensive guys on here real quick. AJ Terrell, shutdown corner for the Falcons, is out. So DJ Moore might not have to worry about so much tough coverage. So he might be a play. We might talk about him a little bit later. And Xavier Howard is a guy that you want to pay attention to because he's a starting corner for the Dolphins. And that could have implications for the guy below him. If you guys are watching, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is in. He passed a concussion protocol. So if Xavier Howard is out and St. Brown is in, there could be a big game for him, a good bounce back game.
Yeah, and he came back last week, but he didn't do well. He was tearing it up, gets hurt, comes back, and then really puts up a dud. So interesting for owners like myself who have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And then I guess just lastly, I know we noted on the look ahead pod that what's his name? I'm blanking out. Sam Ellinger is going to be the starter. Matt Ryan got benched.
Eddie's boy. Eddie.
Matt Ryan.
Eddie Justin's wannabe best friend.
That's not our boy.
Matt Ryan is not playing. He is out, so he's not even the backup. So that means that the Colts are rolling with Sam Ellinger and Jacob Eason as their two quarterbacks. So just saying, anybody that wants to back the Colts today. Good luck. I know they're a popular side, though. As always, fantasy football, we want to talk about it. We talking about sports on Facebook. We talking Sports One. We talking Sports One also on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can always hit us up with your Facebook questions and throughout any other socials, for our fantasy mailbag.
Yeah, man, for sure. Don't be shy. Hit us in the DM, especially if it's earlier in the week, so we can get to your question. Or just comment on one of our posts. We'll see it and then we'll post it on here. So not only we can go over it, but everybody watching can go over it and give you some advice as well.
And what we'll start doing towards the end and since this is the end of the year, it's the nitty gritty. We need to make some of these decisions earlier than the podcast. We'll be posting this on all of our socials, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you guys just comment under, and we'll post y'all's comments like we did last year. But we'll do this towards it since it's the end of the year, and it's getting important for those of us who want to make the playoffs. But without further ado, we do this every week. It's the Flex Zone. This is where we talk about guys that maybe they got bumped up to starter consideration. Maybe some stuff has happened in the past couple of weeks that, hey, we might want to throw these guys into our lineup. And I'll kick us off with DJ Moore. This is a guy that a lot of people have given up on. A lot of people had him benched, just going through a lot of turmoil. He's a guy, all the talent in the world, never had a quarterback to throw it to him, really, just the story of his career. But He had a good performance last week with PJ Walker. I think he's in line for another good performance. The Falcons defense doesn't scare me, especially now that AJ Terrell is out. So giving DJ Moore to at least hit value. I like him for maybe give me 8 catches for 70 yards and maybe a touchdown, and you
And
get your
sprinkle the
20
little
points right
touchdown
there.
on top.
You get your 20 points. So I like him at least a baseline of like 14, 15 points today in PPR leagues. So give me DJ Moore.
I like it. Hit us,
All right.
hit us with your Pollard.
Well, this one is a layup, easy one. Zeke is out. He's hurt. You got to slide in Pollard at least into your flex. You could even consider him for your RB2 at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, here's the question that I want to see get answered. It seems like a lot of Cowboys fans call for Tony Pollard to be the starter every week. Personally, for me, I think he somewhat benefits from having Zeke there, where Zeke kind of gets those first carries, and then Pollard, once that defense is worn down a little bit, he can, brush one off. It's the tale of as old as time for running backs. Whenever you have a two-headed running back, it's always the backup should be starting. The backup should be starting because the first running back always does all the work. Well, yeah. Tony Pollard fans, we're about to find out today. Is he the real deal? Should he be starting? He's not going to have Zeke, peeking around his shoulder for that job, right now. Go off, Tony. Let's see you go off.
Pass protection is key here.
It's
something that we don't talk about. He has none. And with Dak Prescott coming off the injury, you know that the Bears, great defensive talent, they're going to be after Dak today. But can Pollard pick up those blitzes? Can he pick up those big linebackers coming? That's going to be.
He hasn't been able to at all.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, a key point in this game. I'm going to go with Smith versus Pitt here. Devontae Smith. You know me. I'm wide receiver 2. I love me some wide receiver 2s, bro. He scored 15 points in 4 of his past 5 games. He's seen more than 11 targets in 2 of his last 4 games. And he showed us a really high ceiling. He's the best downfield threat, guys. I know AJ Brown. I know he's a huge guy, whatever.
I agree with that.
Down the field when you want to go, those 60-yarders, 70-yarders, Hurts just wants to sling it down the field when he, gets behind the safety. It's going to be to Devontae Smith. Also, the team that he's playing, the Steelers here, they've allowed the second most points per game to receivers at almost 44. So this is a Devontae Smith game right here. I like it. Flex him, definitely. And let's run it, man. The Eagles' offense alone is putting up a lot of points. They're great. They're undefeated. I think the table is set for Devontae Smith today versus the Steelers.
I like that pick a lot. I like Devontae Smith. There should be a lot of points against that Pittsburgh defense.
What's crazy
is, bro.
At the start of the season, we didn't think Jalen Hurts would be able to feed 2 receivers, and he's shown he can do it now.
Yep. I like all of these plays personally. I like Pollard as a flex spot, potentially running back 2 if you're somebody that had Zeke as your starter, or maybe if it's popular to take somebody else's cuff too, like take a Zeke's owner, take Pollard instead of letting the Zeke owner get that guy. So if you're in that situation, load up Pollard. It's all we're all the thing. All guns are firing, or we're all loaded up today for Pollard. So excuse me, I'm fumbling for my phrases today. But
don't fumble, cuz don't fumble.
That was the flex zone. And before we get into the betting segment, I do want to say this is probably our most important segment other than fantasy here today. We give you guys our picks every single week. And today, this segment is brought to you guys by Top Grade Top Grade Physical Therapy.
Get in top grade shape with Top Grade Physical Therapy. Let Dr. Rufino Gutierrez and his team give you the manual therapy you need. Soft tissue massages, joint manipulation and mobilization, trigger point dry needling, cupping, plus much more. Visit Top Grade Therapy today, 2801 West Expressway 83, Suite 210 in McAllen, or call 956-854-4364. It's not physical therapy if it's not top grade.
It's not physical therapy if it's not top grade.
Top grade.
I'm actually going to go see them myself, bro, because I've had a damn pain right here in the back of my head all week. And they said that it might be having something to do with my neck. So I'm going to go get that checked out, and hopefully it takes it away. So I will be seeing them next week. Maybe I'll run into you while I'm there.
Yep, and like I said, this next segment is brought to you guys by Top Grade Physical Therapy. You can find them in McAllen, Texas. Their information is, for those of you guys that are watching, is showing down and below on the ticker. Make sure to write that down if you guys have any physical therapy needs. So without further ado, let's get into our betting segment. This is Ron pictured here. This is his Week 8 scorecard. This is what he's got for us for Week 8. Ron, why don't you take us through your card?
All right, man, let's run it. Titans money line here. This is a big game for me just because obviously the quarterback is out. So they're going to be Derrick Henry heavy. I think they control the game. They control the clock. It's a pick 'em. You don't even got to worry about the spread. It's just a straight up game. So give me the Titans money line. I really like that game. I believe they're playing the Texans, a team that's at the bottom of the barrel. Not really somebody who scares you, offensively. So the Titans money line is the first play. Commanders +3. I love this pick here. Heineke is back in the starting lineup, and yes, he is the backup quarterback, but their defense is why I'm focused on taking this pick. They're getting 3 points, and with the defense that they have, I think they're the 10th or 12th ranked defense in the league. They're coming off that win against who do you know? Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Relax himself. They just beat the Packers last week. They have the momentum. And I think it's going to be maybe not the best, cleanest game. I could see a lot of flags, a lot of turnovers, but close, ugly games lead to the score being really close or a one possession game at the very end. So I love that Washington Commanders +3. Also, give me Vegas and the Saints at over 48.5. In Vegas's last 6 games, they're 4-1-1 to the over. In the Saints' last 7 games, they're 5-2. Dalton's going to be slinging it out over the field, whether it's touchdowns or whether it's interceptions. That ball is going to be flying across the field. Vegas, we saw what Josh Jacobs did last week and the week before. He's been running crazy. That Saints defense is very easy to score on. I love the over here in 48.5. Titans money line, Commanders +3. Vegas and New Orleans over 48.5. Those are the plays. Get them in. Let's cash them. Let's have a great Sunday because we already started off on Thursday hot, baby.
I love it, Ron. I love it. And you're not worried at all about Malik Willis as the starting quarterback for the Titans. You're rolling over the Texans here. I like it.
Yes.
Heavy dosage of Derrick Henry. Heavy dosage of Derrick Henry.
Fantasy. If you do DraftKings or a daily fantasy, I think he could see like 30 carries today, bro.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love this card. There's going to be a lot of points in that Raiders and Saints game as well. So I like it. Let's go to Ben first. Let's go a week in review for Ben. His scorecard is up here from week 7. I think he went 2-1. The only miss was the Bucks. As we all know, they lost outright to the Panthers. I don't think anybody saw that coming. So shout out to Ben for going 2-1 in week 7. Week 8, moving on. He's back on his Bills at -10.5. He's back on the Giants at -3. And he's on the 49ers at a pick'em against the Los Angeles Rams. And he also has a teaser, I think. Do you have that with you, Ron?
Yeah, it's shoot. It was there. Let me see. Give me a second.
It's a 3-team 10-point teaser. I want to say it's with the Bills.
Yeah, it's
the
Philly,
Eagles, and the Cowboys.
Yeah, so it'd be Philly -1, Buffalo -0.5, and Dallas pick. So pretty much it's just Philly, Buffalo, and Dallas to win, and it's at -120. So I like
that. So Ben, he called it on the look ahead pod. He was all over the Giants. That was one line that he gravitated towards there against the Seahawks. So we all know the Seahawks have some injuries, although the guys are going to power through it and play it. It looks like Metcalf and Lockett, but still struggling over there in Seattle. But moving on to my scorecard for week 7. Not so good. As I mentioned on the look ahead pod, didn't hit a single bet on this one. I'm not sure if I want to be fully pictured up here. I want the little square for me as I'm talking right now about this 0-4 scorecard, but did not hit it. The teaser even didn't cash for me. It's been a bad year for teasers in general. I think I heard something that teasers are hitting at their lowest rate of all time, or the lowest rate in like the past like 30 years or something like that. I was hearing, but I was a victim of that. Bengals and 49ers 7-point teaser didn't cash along with any of the 3 plays listed, but shame on me for backing the Broncos and the Jags. That's just the type of business you get into when you're backing those kind of teams. So it happens. I live with it, and I move on to week 8, and I got 3 plays for you guys. I'm on the Pats -3. I said on the look ahead pod, this is one of the lines that my head was gravitating towards. I like this spot. As we talked about in the injury report, the Jets are down bad with injuries. They're missing Breece Hall, just tore his ACL. They just signed James Robinson, but he's probably going to be in a limited capacity today. And the Pats, just a big bounce back spot in general. So I'm on the Pats -3. Give me the Cowboys -10. I think they're going to rout the Bears today. I think the Bears, they proved that they're sellers still, even though they beat the Patriots on Monday Night Football. They traded away Robert Quinn. This is a team that knows they're not going to make the playoffs. I like the Cowboys here at -10. The defense should wreak havoc on Justin Fields. Give me Justin Fields to throw at least 2 picks today. I like the Cowboys -10. I just see it with the pass rush. They have trouble protecting him already. And Justin Fields, as we know, he's shown some improvement, but I think this Cowboys defense is a notch above what he's going to be able to compete with. And I just mentioned it on the last slide. I'm in business of backing bad teams. It's ugly sometimes, but the Panthers +4 against the Falcons. They just upset the Bucks last week. They have a solid defense. We've known that all year. They have a solid defense. It's always been the quarterback play taking them out of it, or just not letting them compete. So give me the Panthers +4. Should be competitive. If they're down throughout most of the game, I think they might be live for a backdoor. Hopefully, I just don't want to come back here on the look ahead pod or next Sunday and look at an 0-3 and the Panthers be a team that got blown out, like just lose like 21-0 or something. I just don't want that to happen. If I lose on a close spread, that's fine. And for the first time in a while, no teaser for me. I usually do the 2-team 7-point teasers, but looking out at the market and the spreads, just not a lot of value out there. I always talk about, teasing through 7 and 10 and 3 as well. And just not a lot of good spots, in my opinion. So I'm going to lay off the teaser and not force it this week. So light week betting for me, but I still got my 3 plays up here.
Nice.
Justin, do you got any plays that you want to talk us through that you got? You've been giving us some teasers and some parlays here and there. What you got cooking?
Yeah, I got a 2-team teaser at 7 points. Give me the Dolphins +3 and the Titans up to +6.
Okay. All right. So Justin,
last week's teaser hit as well. I was on the opposite side of you with the Jaguars. I had the Giants, and I forget who I had on the other side that cashed as well. We'll have to review the tape, but
the Giants they won outright, so that was a good bet for you. We're gonna review the tape, and I think that's it for week 8. For spooky season. As always, we got our socials up here. This is our Instagram picture. We Talking Sports 1. I know we were posting some clips of that Jake Paul knockdown. Was that stage 2, guys? Or was that a real knockdown?
He stepped on his foot. I don't know if you guys saw that. No,
He did step on his foot, but the shot was clean afterwards.
Well, I think yes, the shot was clean. I'll give it to him, but he stepped on Silva's foot, and as Silva's like moving away to get his foot out from Jake Paul's foot, he's off balance, and then he catches the right. So clean shot. Clear, but it's just his feet weren't under him and his balance wasn't right. It
happens a lot when you're southpaw versus regular stance.
That's boxing, that's MMA. You have to control your balance.
Call out Jake Paul.
Ron, how big of a fan were you of Anderson Silva? Because it sounds like you were
huge, bro.
You're a huge Anderson Silva fan.
This guy's GOAT. This guy's
you called him a GOAT. That's got to be.
Well, he is the GOAT. This guy's the Cowboys to me. This guy's a LeBron James to me.
Sounds like Ron's gonna go to his appointment at Top Grade Physical Therapy and then call out Jake Paul after he gets his kinks knocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tell Rufy, hey man, get me ready. I'm gonna go tell Rufy and Val, get me ready.
Get me ready for that fight. This is our Facebook. @ is the same at We Talking Sports 1. We talking about sports. Please follow like and subscribe if you guys haven't. It's always appreciated. Any other announcements or any parting shots that you guys want to make here on the podcast before we sign off?
Man, I don't know if we're dropping the news or if you guys want to. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
All right,
Not
we're
yet,
chilling.
not yet.
Not yet. All right, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. All right.
This is a drop. So
We gotta tease them. We gotta
it's
tease
held,
them.
it's held so close to the vest that I don't even know what it is.
Close to the vest. I love it.
I don't even know what it
Well,
is.
shit, man. That's it. It was good to be back. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for commenting. If you can hit the like button, hit the little heart button that you love it, share it. We're dropping more stuff on social media. If y'all can share that, it's all love. Thank you for the partnerships that we have in Top Grade Physical Therapy. We have somebody else coming in, somebody else locally too. That'll be more of an MMA pod. We're gonna go ahead and release them on our MMA pod, but just trying to make the community grow, especially here in Mission, and just sharing all the love for sports that we have, for the friendships that we have, and just having a good time talking about sports, man. It's a beautiful time. I have two Astros fans here to my left and to my right. Roland, that is an amazing cap that you have on.
Thank you.
We're in full fucking swing. MLB, NHL started. The guru in the cowboy hat, Mr. Roland himself. NBA is back, so we're gonna be doing NBA shows. We're gonna be busy. We're gonna be busy as fuck, man. So, we're here. We're here if you guys need anything as well.
And I keep on saying it, but we got the World Cup in November officially. So I mean,
Qatar has started.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full slate of sports. We're excited, and like Ron said, it's all about the friendship, because that's really what this is. It's how this podcast started. Just a couple friends just talking sports and just bullshitting and just having a good time and in front of a mic. And we're just glad to have everybody here with us, talking every Sunday, talking when we go live. It wouldn't be anything without people in the comments and people watching.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we could just text ourselves and talk to each other, but
yeah,
we like sharing the love, sharing the knowledge that we think we know.
But and it is 11:10. It's 50 minutes till kickoff. So set your lineups, put in your bets. If you guys want to fade us or tail us, go ahead and look back on our cards and put those plays in and let us know how you did on Monday. And the next time you'll see us is with the look ahead pod, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. And see you guys later.
I think that look ahead pod's gonna be sweet, Roland.
Thank you, sir. I like that. We're gonna add a new segment. We're gonna do a little guessing game here this next week, see where the lines move and see how good we can get to that. And hopefully it helps us on Sundays, because that's the idea.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when we do that look ahead pod, we'll see one of these teams trade somebody. I think Kareem Hunt's up for grabs and Brandon Cooks from the Texans. Let's see if they land anywhere by that look ahead pod.
That's a good one. All right. Well, like we said, we'll be here early to middle of the week with the look ahead pod, and hope to see you guys there.